The Johnson's Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn. We now know that weekly scrubbing of linoleum floors was very harmful and eventually ruined the linoleum. It's so much safer, so much easier to protect floors with the modern floor polish, Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. You see how it wears evenly and smoothly without chipping because Glow Coat has a flexible, not a brittle film. Make a note to remind yourself to buy some of Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat this week. Some people think it would be a great thing if we were able to peer into the future. Personally, we think it's a blessing if we can't. For instance, here at 79 Wistful Vista sits the lady of the house darning socks for the master of the house, who doesn't know yet that a messenger girl is approaching with, what can be in store for Fibber McGee and Molly?
Well, McGee, you'll have to buy some new socks.
Huh?
I've darned these so many times and practically handmade.
Well, okay, I'll get some tomorrow. But it's an awful nuisance. Gee, I wish I was a kid again and could go around barefooted.
Do you really?
Well, no, not really. These guys that keep yearning for their childhood days are just kidding themselves. Well, I wouldn't go through that again for $1 million.
Why not?
Oh, I was a regular little gangster when I was a kid.
Oh, go on.
I ever tell you about the morning that I and Skinny Crandall and Bones Biddle and Stinky Hooper tied a wire across the schoolhouse steps? Then waited in the bushes for the teacher to show up.
Oh, no. You nasty boy. Well, what happened?
Well, we waited till noon and then suddenly realized it was Saturday. So we started running down the old swimming pool, and I tripped over the wire and darn near busted my...
Come in.
Package for Mrs. McGee.
For me?
Are you Mrs. McGee?
Well, what do I have to do? Show you my marriage license?
Nah, I can see Mr. McGee. Nobody else would live with him.
Well, kid, what are you holding your hand out for?
Well, what do you think, Fibber? Give the girl a tip.
Well, here you go.
I guess that will do.
Fresh kid. Why, when I was her age, I was polite and thoughtful.
Yes, you were, you little gangster. I wonder what this is. Oh, heavenly days! 4 pounds of chocolates!
Who's that from?
Oh, as if you didn't know.
Huh?
You darling! You did remember, didn't you?
Oh, well, ain't there a note in it or something?
Well, why should there be? Who'd be sending me candy but you?
Chocolates?
And my favorite kind, too.
Well, I'm glad you like it, Molly. What kind is it?
Now listen, don't be so coy, McGee.
Huh?
Yeah, you can't fool me.
No? Well, our anniversary comes once a year, they say. Or is that Christmas? No, it's our anniversary. I guess, well, isn't there any? Didn't I put a note in it?
Well, I don't see any, but you didn't have to. If a man can't send a box of chocolates to his wife without a lot of explanations, I'd like to know who would.
Hello there, Fib. Hello, Molly. Hey, can I speak to you alone for a minute, Fib?
Why, sure. Excuse us a minute, Molly.
Certainly, go right ahead.
What's on your mind, old-timer?
Look, I'm selling cards, Fib. Want to buy one for the kid there? Nothing women appreciate more than a little touch of sentiment, you know.
Oh, no thanks, old-timer. She just got a big box of candy for our anniversary.
She did, eh? Good for you, Fib.
Well, I don't know whether it is or not. Just between you and me, I don't remember sending it to her.
Then you better buy one of these cards and send it, too.
Oh, no, then she'd get suspicious.
Don't be a fool, Fib. The more you send them, the better they like it. Here's a beaut. Says, roses are sweet, and so is your soul. I'm going to throw out my sugar and put you in the bowl.
Oh, no thanks. I don't want any cards, old-timer. Well, I don't mind wearing my heart on my sleeve, but I hate the idea of a mailman dragging it all over town in the rain. Well, thanks anyway.
Okay, Fib. Sorry to keep you waiting, Molly. Just wanted to talk a little biz with the Fib here.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Old-Timer. I was just busy darning his socks anyway. Just look how he tears holes in them.
Yes, he's a holy terror, ain't he? Well, I gotta get back to my job, kids. Be seeing ya.
What do you mean your job? What you doing?
Oh, I'm a caretaker down at the recreation center.
Oh.
I keep the tennis courts in condition.
Must be quite a chore.
Oh, no. Just a few swipes with a cloth full of Johnson's wax. And I'm caught up for several days.
Johnson's wax? On a tennis court?
Yep. Table tennis, Fib. Well, so long, kids.
Oh, McGee, I wish you'd never sent me this candy. I just can't keep my hands out of it. It's so good. Don't you like it?
Oh, sure I like it. Why shouldn't I like it?
Well, you keep eyeing the box like you were afraid it was going to eat you.
I do? Well, I guess I just got a complex about candy. Well, ever since my mother used to feed me nougats to pull out my baby teeth. Never believed in that string on the doorknob business myself.
Well, there's no nougat in this candy, dearie.
That's what I keep telling my teeth. Besides, wait a minute. Who's walking around upstairs?
Oh, poor Uncle Dennis. He's all upset.
About what?
Well, he's thinking of starting a lawsuit against Walt Disney.
Walt Disney?
Yes.
What for?
Oh, that pink elephant sequence in Dumbo. Uncle Dennis said he saw him first.
Oh, he's all wet. You can't copyright a hangover. Anyway, what right...
Come in.
Good day, Mrs. McGee. Good day, McGee.
Oh, hi, Latrivia.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Have some candy?
Thank you, no. I'm on a low-carbohydrate diet.
Well, you better stock up on them, Latriv. They tell me that there's going to be a shortage of low carbohydrates.
You don't say. If I might make a suggestion, McGee, it would be the effect that people who have no clear comprehension of a subject under discussion would be well advised to maintain a discreet silence.
I don't get it.
Well, he said, dearie, that if ignorance is bliss, happy days are here again. Or if you don't know what you're talking about when you pipe up, pipe down.
Oh, yeah? Well, and look here, Latrivia.
Just a moment, McGee. Will you please refrain hereafter?
Oh, don't ask him to make any promises about the hereafter, Mr. Mayor. His forwarding address is unknown.
What are you talking about anyway, Latrivia? And quit shaking your finger in my face. I'm liable to think it's Halloween and start bobbing for knuckles.
All right, but hereafter, McGee, please refrain from telling motorcycle policemen that you are a close relative of mine, and they can't do that to you.
Do what to you, McGee?
Well, if he's referring to what I think he's referring to, he means that I got a ticket yesterday for parking 8 minutes overtime.
For parking 1 hour and 8 minutes overtime.
Well, can I help it if I forgot to set my watch back last Sunday night?
You weren't supposed to set it back. You were supposed to set it ahead.
In that case, it would be 2 hours and 8 minutes.
It'll be no such a thing. It'd be 8 minutes less than 1 hour. There's 2-hour parking on Oak Street. So the city owes me 52 minutes.
Oh, now wait a minute, boys. Let's get this straight. Let's say you parked at exactly 3 o'clock. And
But I didn't. I parked at 8 minutes to 4.
for goodness sakes.
Anyway, McGee, the justness of the complaint does not concern me. What I object to is you assuming that I, as mayor of Wistful Vista, would use the power of my office to obstruct due process of law. Furthermore, you had no business telling the officer that I was your nephew on your mother's side.
Oh, you leave my mother out of this, Latrivia. A fine thing, dragging a guy's family into a case like this. Oh, for shame.
But McGee, he didn't say it
And to
was...
think a guy like him is our mayor. It ain't enough for him and his Cossack cops who ride roughshod over the common citizens. No, he's got to get personal.
Now, just a minute, McGee. You're the one who started.
He dragged my family through the mud and slime of a court trial, holding us up to public ridicule just so I...
All right. I'll fix the ticket. I'll fire the policeman. I'll resign. Forget it.
Boy, I should have been a lawyer.
But you had no business telling the policeman that the mayor was your nephew.
Oh, no? Well, I just proved it, didn't I? I made him holler, Uncle. Give me a piece of that candy. Any chocolate-covered peanuts in there?
Well, you ought to know. You bought it.
Huh? Well, I didn't specify every piece that went into the box.
I bet you did. There's everything I like in it. Oh, you're so thoughtful, McGee.
Oh, shucks.
I think it was a Valentine's Day when we first went out together, dearie.
Yeah. I carved our initials inside of a big heart on that old oak tree in the back of the brewery.
The schoolhouse.
The brewery.
Schoolhouse, McGee.
I remember it was the brewery because the only grove of trees where you could hitch a horse to was...
McGee! For 20 years and more, I've been telling people it was back of the schoolhouse, and I can't change it now. Heavenly days. What's so romantic about a brewery?
Well, if it had been in back of the schoolhouse, I'd have ruined my jackknife. The only tree back there was a big steel flagpole.
Hello, folks.
Oh, hi, Mr. Announcer. Have a piece of candy. It's wonderful.
Stop bragging, McGee.
Well, I ain't bragging. I don't even know who... here, have a nougat, Mr. Announcer.
No, thanks. Say, do you people ever see Life magazine?
Yes, we do, Mr. Announcer. Why do you ask?
Well, the Johnson's Wax people have a double-page ad in Life next Friday. I didn't want you to miss it. We're featuring the Consumer's Pledge for Total Defense.
What you mean, pledge?
Well, look. Here's one of the cards for Molly to sign. Read it, Molly.
Oh, all right. As a consumer in the total defense of democracy, I will do my part to make my home, my community, and my country ready, efficient, and strong. I will buy carefully. I will take good care of the things I have. I will waste nothing. Place for signature. Consumer Division, Office of Price Administration. Well, I'll certainly sign that, Mr. Announcer.
Thanks, Molly. This is a mighty important thing right now. If there was ever a time to conserve and save and protect and preserve, it's today. And Johnson's Wax does all of them in so many ways. It's a pretty necessary thing to have in your kitchen shelf.
Oh, I say. Oh, that reminds me. I better go in the kitchen and see if I have enough Johnson's Wax on hand. Excuse me a minute.
Certainly, Molly. Well, Fibber, now I'll have a chaw of those chocolates, chum.
Well, here, help yourself. And look.
Yeah?
You didn't send this candy to Molly, did you?
Not me, pal. I don't send candy to married women. I'm allergic to buckshot. Why, didn't you?
Well, if I did, you can bop me with a bonbon if I remember doing it.
Well, maybe you walked in your sleep again and crashed a confectionery store.
Say, I wonder if... Oh, no, that ain't possible. The candy stores aren't open that late. Still, hey, you call on a lot of stores, don't you?
Sure, now that I'm taking these pledge cards around.
Well, look, kind of snoop around and see what you can find out, will you? See if a guy about my size, wearing purple pajamas and green slippers...
Yeah?
With a sleepy look on his puss, came wandering in any place and bought a box of chocolate candy.
Hey, easy, here she comes. Okay, pal, I'll tell George what you said. So long, see you later.
So long, George.
Say, who's George, McGee? And what did you want Mr. Announcer to tell him?
George?
Yes, George.
Oh, George. Oh, yeah. Well, he meant old George Frahulis.
Who on earth is George Frahulis?
He used to have a tire shop on 14th Street. I just sold it and took up blacksmithing. I just told Mr. Announcer to wish him good luck.
Oh. Well, toss me one of those coconut creams, McGee. They're delicious.
Here.
Thank you. My, I don't know when a box of candy has intrigued me like this one, dearie.
Yeah, me either. Me too.
What?
Well, I'm glad you like it, Molly. You always did like mixed chocolates, didn't you?
Yes. And weren't you nice to remember?
Yes.
But then you were always thoughtful. Always the gentleman.
Yeah.
Remember the time I dropped my handkerchief at the dance and you and Otis Carpenter both rushed to pick it up?
Yeah.
And bumped your heads together and knocked each other out?
Yeah, but I came too. That guy's still unconscious.
And you were so jealous of him. I believe you still are.
Oh, I am not.
Say, I saw in the paper last night that he's in town. What's the matter?
Well, this candy kind of choked me. In fact, I think any of it would choke me.
Well, what do you mean?
Why, I mean that Otis Carpenter. He might be the guy who he'd make me choke on a caraway seed. The very mention of his name makes me...
Uh-huh. You see, you are jealous. Here, have some candy, McGee. Help yourself to all you want.
Oh.
Any man who remembers his wife like this for their anniversary deserves anything he can get.
Well, I wish you'd quit saying that, Molly.
Why? For goodness sakes. You did send it to me, didn't you?
Well, who'd you suppose sent it? Come in.
Hello, folks.
Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Well, hi, Wimp, old man. How's everything?
Oh, just peachy, Mr. McGee.
Well, you're looking very well, Mr. Wimple. Is your wife away?
No, but Sweetie Face has been very busy with the new women's ambulance unit, Mrs. McGee.
The ambulance unit, eh?
Yes.
Was she a nurse or a driver, Wimple?
Neither one, Mr. McGee. She holds up the ambulance while the other girls crawl under it and make repairs.
Well, your wife is very strong, isn't she, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, indeed she is. Why, do you know I've seen her tie a bow knot in a steel crowbar?
Gee, really?
Yes, sirree.
Wow.
I don't mind telling you I had a terrible time getting it off, too. My neck was sore for weeks.
Well, there's one thing about your married life, Wimp. You never know what's coming next.
Yes, that is something to be thankful for, isn't it? But I really owe a lot to Sweetie Face.
Yeah?
She's made me what I am today.
Oh, and what is that?
Oh, come now, not like it clinical, Mrs. McGee.
Well, bring her over sometime, Wimp. I'll get a hot iron and we'll play hot potato.
Oh, I just can't get her out to go anywhere socially, Mr. McGee. She said she'd rather stay home with her artwork.
Oh, artwork? Does she paint too?
Oh, indeed she does. She did a wonderful painting of two moonshiners working down in the Kentucky hills.
Oh.
What'd she call it?
Still life. I'll never forget the time I asked her to paint me.
And did she do that?
In a way she did, Mrs. McGee. She gave me a beautiful shellacking.
I suppose she was just being playful.
Of course, of course. One day I said to her, Sweetie Face, let's not play so rough. And she said, all right, Wallace, let's play beanbag. And I said, oh, dandy. And then everything went black. My goodness. I never knew beans came in 100-pound bags. Well, good night.
Hey, we never offered Wimple any candy.
Well, it's probably just as well. One Sweetie Face in the family ought to be plenty. Poor fella.
Yeah, the way he gets pushed around, he must have come from a long line of wheelbarrows. Well, he's,
I'll get it, McGee. 79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking. Who? Oh, hello, Mr. Announcer.
Well, hey, let me take that, Molly.
Oh, be quiet, McGee. I can't hear. What was it, Mr. Announcer?
Molly, that's a very important call. I've been expecting...
Hush, dearie. I can't hear a word he's saying. Now, what did you say, Mr. Announcer?
But I...
Yes, I'd be glad to take the message.
Oh, now I am sunk.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, boy, I don't know what I'm going to do.
All right. Yes. Yes. Yes, I'll tell Fibber. Well, thank you for calling. Goodbye. McGee.
Huh?
What on earth goes on anyway?
Oh, well, I might as well admit the whole thing, Molly. Well, I never felt right about it anyway.
About what?
About the... Hey, wait a minute. What did he say?
Well, he said you'd give you this message and you'd understand.
Yeah?
Yeah, he said, Elks Club punch board 2 weeks ago. Deliver this week.
Whoa! Oh, so that's what it was. Now I remember. Oh, boy, is that a load off of my mind.
Is what a load off your mind?
Oh, it wouldn't interest you, Molly.
Oh, but it would, McGee.
Huh?
You were interested enough in me to send me this lovely candy, and I'm interested in your affairs too, dearie.
Okay, I'll tell you. You see, the Elks wanted me to act as the chairman of the boxing committee a couple of weeks ago.
Yes?
Well, I said I'd think it over, so I delivered my acceptance today. Simple, ain't it?
But what's this about a punch board?
Oh, that. Well, that's what we fellows call the boxing committee, the punch board.
Oh.
Oh, hand me a piece of that candy, will you, Molly? Well, give me 2 pieces. Give me a handful.
Speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, invite you all to be with us again next week for another episode of Fibber McGee and Molly. Good night. The role of Fibber was portrayed by Terry Turner. Molly was Joanne Fox. Isabella Swain was the delivery girl. The old-timer was played by Matt Madonna. David McKinnon was Mayor Latrivia, and Wallace Wimple was portrayed by Kevin West. Our Foley artist is Rod Gibson, and I'm your announcer, Ralph Swain. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. And now we're going to wrap up the show with a final song by our jazz singer, Carlos Jimenez.
In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking. Now heaven knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words. Writing prose, anything goes. The world's gone mad today, good's bad today, day's night today, and black's white today, when most skies today that women prize today are just silly gigolos. Though I'm not a great romancer, I know you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking. Now heaven knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words. Writing prose, anything goes. The world's gone mad today, good's bad today, black's white today, day's night today, when most skies today that women prize today are just silly gigolos. So though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. say before this record spins to a close? I want you to know anything goes.
Carlos Jimenez.